You are here to talk about 1 Million Minutes, which
Yeah.
you launched this morning.
Yeah, it's great.
On Good Morning Britain with Dame Joan Collins.
We did, who is utterly fabulous, but also, you know, Joan's a wonderfully positive woman, but she knows lots of people that she's known grow old and get very lonely. And we had this amazing guy called George, 102 years old, and he was such a sweet guy, very switched on. His wife had died. They'd been married 68 years.
Wow.
And he talked about loneliness, and he said, you know, loneliness is like a dagger in your back. And he said it just gets deeper over time. And I thought that was such a powerfully eloquent thing. And this guy, who for 68 years had this wonderful marriage, he said the secret to his longevity was he didn't smoke, moderation in drink, and having the love of one woman. And it was really heartbreaking. Now, he said the way to deal with loneliness is to get out there and be positive, which is what he's doing. And that's part of the message of 1 million minutes. It's now a lot more than 1 million. We busted it this morning in about an hour. But the idea is you just give time. Nothing else.
And
all we
time
want.
is precious, isn't it?
Time to people like George is everything.
But also,
time
you say,
and conversation.
You say about him getting out there, but that generation, a lot of them can't get out there unless they're assisted, but also they're that generation where they don't want to be a nuisance.
Yeah, they don't want to be a burden.
So you really do...
Well, they're not like this generation who do want to be a nuisance and a burden.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a generation... He lived through both World Wars, this guy. 102 years old, and he just wants company. It was really heartbreaking. And
well,
yet
you look
very
genuinely
inspiring.
moved. You know, for Piers Morgan, the hard-hearted Piers Morgan, you looked genuinely
I've got a
moved
heart.
this
You have
morning.
to dig pretty deep.
I mean, that would be your worst nightmare, though, wouldn't it? That Piers Morgan turned up to keep you company. I think I'm not that lonely.
It's not always
I'm
like
not
say,
that lonely.
I've got to say, looking at your other ladies in your audience, it looks to me like it would be their biggest dream. Am I right?
Can I attempt in this interview to ask you one serious question, right?
You can.
Have you ever felt lonely?
Funny enough, we were talking about it this morning, and I said when I worked in New York, for example, on CNN, and my family spent a lot of time back in England, and I've got 4 kids, as you know, you're godmother to one of my children.
I am.
And, yeah, over time, there'd be like a week or 2 would go by where you didn't have family with you, I don't have many friends in New York. I had this amazing job, earning all this money, living in this lovely apartment on my own, and it does get a bit lonely. And that was just a tiny little snapshot of what it must be like for many, particularly elderly people, who lose their spouse, perhaps.
And their friends.
And all their friends start to die.
Well, we were talking today about, you know, the long marriage, that, you know, you're saying 60-odd years you're married, you know.
68
you don't
years.
hear that so much now.
And my wife would consider that to be a worse than a life sentence.